Hi everyone, this is Beth, and she is interested in finding out whether she is ready for planks and front loading or not, and how to tell when she's ready. So, Beth, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're finding an issue with when you're going into front loading and whether you're ready or not with it?
Sure. So when I do most upright positions that aren't front loading, one of my cues is I can look down and see, oh yeah, my stomach is still totally flat. So I know that I'm good. My problem in
Yeah.
front loading is my angle is down and everything goes forward. So I've got this loose skin, of course, and like some belly fat here. So it kind of just falls into that pocket, and it's way harder for me to visually to see am I still engaged or am I losing it? Because it's like that little round pocket of fat and skin's always there.
Yeah, and it's just so hard, right? And then if you're in a plank position, it is also hard to even test because you're then suddenly on one
Yes.
hand and that adjusts you, and then your breathing changes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a hands and knees position. So the one thing to know with planks and front loading is the smaller the base, the easier it is. So if you think about a hands and knees position, your knees are right under your hips, your arms are right under your shoulders. So that's actually a much easier position than, let's just say, a 3/4 plank where your knees go back a little bit and your hands go forward a little bit and you extend that lever. So when we think about it, the smaller the lever it is, the easier it is for you to hold because you've got that better base of support. So we're going to start on hands and knees because I know you and I know you're strong enough to do a wall plank. So let's work with the hands and knees.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to go onto your hands and knees, and what we're going to do is, to start with, is we're going to actually relax on our hands and knees, and then I want you to engage. And let's just see what relaxed versus engaged looks like, and let's see what your engaging technique looks like on hands and knees. Because sometimes when we're on hands and knees, our rectus abdominis, so our external muscles, want to fire more than a deep core, so it can cause the engaging to look different than when you're standing up. So let's start by just relax and make sure you've got a nice long neck, and relax your belly completely, let it out, there we go. And now do a nice long exhale and engage. Good. Okay, so we get a little bit of a pinch point just under your ribs, which I think we can get flatter, that lower belly slightly flatter than it is right now based on how it's engaging. So what I want you to think about is I want you to relax, and when you engage, I really want you to think just about like your rotating that lever in your hip socket. So going around and pulling up from the pubic bone up to the belly button. So it's going to be just a little bit of rounding of that lower back to start with, to flatten that lower back out. Can you, I don't know, when you look at this, you'll see you've got just a slight arch in your lower back, which is normal. But what I want you to do is I want you to think of just that cycler movement around, pulling up from your pubic bone upwards. So let's just relax right now. And what I want you to do is I want you to think of that circular motion pulling up from the pubic bone towards the sternum as you exhale. Good. Okay. Now inhale and try and get it into your back. And exhale and try and pull. Okay, so did you feel that exhale? In that exhale, you gripped with your ribs versus that pulling up. And I really want you to think of, let me just come down here for you so you can kind of see. So there is going to be some gripping of the ribs. Let me just check. Can you see me here?
Yes.
Okay, so in a normal letting it all hang out, we have a little bit of an arch here, belly coming down around here. Now, as we think about that pulling up in that slight rotation, it should come up this way versus down and that upper back rounding. So it's more about flattening that lower back, so that slight tilt pulling up, than the pushing away from the ground rounding of that upper back. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to think, exhale, round the lower back just slightly, pulling up, and you'll feel those lower TVAs really burn. Then inhale into the back, exhale, pull up just a little bit more from that point. And I think we can get your upper abs out of it just a little bit more. So let's try that once more. So you can relax to start with, that's it. And now I want you to really think about pulling up and rotating. Exhale. Good, stop. Now inhale into your back. And now pull up from that pubic bone a little bit more. Do you feel there is you're hinging into the top and less into the back? So let's just try very slightly tucking your bum, just very slightly, like minimal movement there. That was it. I saw it move right then. Inhale into the back. Exhale, and as you do it, just think that lower back. Good. And then you lost it. I don't know if you felt the difference, but you got it, and then you lost it because the upper part of your core started taking over. And I want you to rewatch this video, because I think you'll see the exact moment when you lost the lower part and the upper part went. And what you're going to do is, I just want you to work on your hands and knees, because you can engage really well with it. You're doing incredibly well. Like, I can see it, it hops and it works. And if you held that position and then inhaled and worked on that position, you would get that strength up. Now let's do it once more, and let's get you into the position. And then I want you to physically feel what it feels like all the way up your gap. So relax just to help you get into that position, nice long neck. And I want you to think of just rounding ever so slightly and pulling up from that pubic bone. There we go. And exhale, squeeze, bring it up. There you go. That's nice. Now inhale to the back, and exhale. Just think of rounding a little more. Stop. Inhale into the back a little bit. And let's just see if we can get that last little flattening. Don't over squeeze. You just over squeeze. Can you feel it? You just over squeeze then. Okay, so let's get you into optimal position, and then I want you to feel your gap. Okay. So exhale, rotate it around, pull it up. Beautiful. Now feel your gap. So I want you to feel. Now, what you should feel is you should feel skin, which will be floppy, but under the skin should feel nice and firm. Yeah. And as long as it is like that, you're fine. So I don't mind if you can grab and wiggle the skin, that's skin, and that's fine. What we don't want you to do is to be able to feel into the gap and kind of feel that gap and that squishiness. And the only thing really I want you to work on is to not let those upper TVAs and upper abs really grip in, and that pushes that pressure into the downwards part. Then after you've done that, so you're going to work on the hands and knees, and slowly you would do like one leg back into that long straight. So the next progression for you, because you've already done a lot of those wall planks and things like that. So the next progression for you would be to have just one leg back like this, and you can work in this position and alternate legs, obviously, in case one leg is long, a little stronger than the other. And when you do this, sorry, did you have a question?
Oh no, sorry.
When you do this, what I want you to think about is pushing this leg into the ground and lifting this leg up a little bit into that position. And this pushing into the ground is going to activate the glute, which will then help with that rotation point. And then after that, you're going to go to 3/4 plank. Then you can even start into this position here. So 3/4 plank, tuck your toes over, under, and then just lift the knees off. And then you can go into the full plank position. Now, questions on that?
My only question is, I have that chronic issue with the top, as you saw over and over, sort of like wanting to be involved. And so I guess my question is, if I'm just engaged with my TVAs, would the top be firm also, or would the top be a little softer then?
I think you'll find just the movement of your front loading is going to cause your upper TVAs and directus abdominis to fire, and they will be totally fine. It's probably more for you to
relax them a little bit so that the lower ones can gain that strength that they need.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing this and going through the troubleshooting with me with this. I think it's going to be really valuable for a lot of people. It's pretty exciting. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.